In the last class, we were talking about the Jawazim of the fi'l. So we talked about most of them. Remember, the author mentioned that there are 18 tools that makes a present tense verb into majzum. He did not mention anything else, and then he just listed them. And then in the sharh, we understood that the tools, we can divide them into two parts. The first part is they're all huruf. Author mentioned six of them, but we said that in reality there are only what? Only four. Lam, lamma, and lam al-amr, and la an-nahiya. These are the four. So what they do, they come into present tense verb and they make them into majzum. And we said by ittifaq of the grammarian that they are all huruf. Then we have the second category, which we will be studying today, which is these are called adawat because some of them are harf, some of them are ism. But the thing about them is that they make two present tense verbs into majzum. Okay, that's why they're making them into distinction. So the first one makes only one present tense verb into majzum, and the second one makes it two present tense verbs into majzum. So what's the story? The story basically is that these tools are called adawat ash-shart. You use these tools to make a conditional statement in Arabic language. And so this is one of them. We have three ways you can make conditional statements, okay? So maybe we will start with the introduction to how do we make conditional statement, what's the basics of it, and then we'll come back to this text. Okay, because conditional statement can get a little bit tricky, but if you understand the basics, inshallah, it will be easy. What are those? Those are, you say lao, la, okay? And for example, you have either, there's another tool. So this is one category, and either is another category. And then we have the category that the author will mention, which is in. So these are the three ways you can make conditional statement. There are some subtle differences which you need to be aware of. Now, I'm not going to go too much in details in these, but I will still mention something that you will need to know at least. So what's the difference? What is la? We use law. By the way, this is a harf. Law is a harf. So this is a particle that we use to make a conditional statement, something about the past. For example, in English, we say, if you studied, you would have passed. If you studied, you would have passed. So as you can see, all of them in the past, but it never happened. So this is a conditional statement that we use when we're talking about something did not happen in the past. So that means whatever you say with this conditional statement, it did not happen. Versus the other ones, they are all in the future. Most of the time when you talk about if statement in English, they're all in the future. If it rains tomorrow, I'll buy an umbrella, right? See, it's all future tense. Inshallah, we'll go more in details, but this one is a little bit peculiar because this is conditional statement that something has to do with the past that did not happen. Okay, so there's no future in it. So how do we do it? For example, you say law ijtahadta, let's say la najaht. So a few things to note. Usually when the law comes, it will come with la. So what happens, this is your conditional shart, and this is the jawab of shart. So this is the conditional. If you were to study hard, ijtahadta, like you were diligent, you studied hard, la najahta. That means if you had studied hard, you would have passed. So what's the outcome? Here, outcome is that it already happened. You did not study, you did not work hard, so you did not pass. So this thing never happened. You understand? So this is the difference. Here you have to use both of them past tense. Okay, you have to use past tense. And usually the jawab will be connected with la, except if it's the verb is in the negative form. Here is a ithbat, meaning it is affirmative. Instead of this, if you were to say you would not have failed, then you would say ma rasabta. Okay, ma rasabta. So now you here, because you're using negation, you will not be using what? you will be not using the la. Is it clear? Oh, the name is the name of this thing is called, there's a many different names. It's called a shart li ghair jazim. So this is the shart, the harf shart. This is the tool of shart li ghairi jazim. Because usually conditional statement, that's why this in comes in the jawazim, they make into majzum. But this one it doesn't. And it also has another names al imtina li imtina. So meaning it is a tool that is for something is being prevented because it was prevented. So meaning this one did not happen. Why? Because this one did not happen. Imtina li imtina. Okay. So prevention. Why? Because of the prevention. Anyway, I don't think we have to go that much in details with these terms, but by and large, you can think of this is a harf shart li غير جازم. فهمتم? So the main thing about this thing is we use law when we talk about a thing that would have happened if you were to do something, but you didn't do something, so it did not happen. So this is all in the past. And also you need to know that you have to use what? You have to use past tense verbs. So there's a lot of other things we can talk about, but honestly, if we go more into details, our discussion will be a little bit divert. For example, there's another variation is laula. Laula is the same thing. It's just saying that if it weren't for this, that would have happened. You see? So it's just another variation of law. Now, the second one is either. Now, either is not a harf, it is a dharf. Okay? A dharf is what? What part of speech is dharf? It's ism. But it comes in the meaning of the condition. Now, by and large, it will be used with the past tense verbs. Either will also be used with the past tense verb. This is the majority of the time. Okay, this would be a majority of time. For example, if you say either ja'a Ramadan, then what happens? You can say fataha Allahu. What does Allah do? What does Allah open? Abwabal Jannah. Okay. So here we're using either. Okay, we're saying either ja'a Ramadan fataha Allahu abwabal Jannah. When the Ramadan comes, Allah opens the doors of the paradise. So now look what is happening. You have the either, it's coming into the past tense verb. Ja'a is a past tense verb. This is the conditional verb. And then also the jawab or shart is also past tense verb. Fataha. Okay. So this is the most of the time that's how the either will work. But what is the meaning? Is the meaning in the past tense? No, meaning is not the past tense. Meaning is in the future. The meaning is still in the future. Meaning when the Ramadan comes, then Allah opens the door of the Jannah. As far as I know, the English, we also do the same thing. We can also do the same thing. We can use the past tense verb in the conditional statement. Okay, so here either will give you the future, not like the law. Law is all in the past tense. Either is for the future. فهمتم? Now in either, you can also use present tense verb. Using present tense verb in the conditional part, the first part of the condition is a little bit more common than using in the second part of the condition. That is more rare. But in the poetry and everything, it can be used. Okay. But by and large, what I want you to think about that law is very clear, all of them in past tense, and the meaning, everything is in the past tense. And either is majority of the time we will be using past tense verbs, but the meaning will be for the future. فهمتم? So these are the two other ways that you can make a conditional statements in Arabic language. And of course, our today's topic is what? Today's topic is the main one, which is in. Okay, so in, what does in means? In means if. Okay, in is if. This is your standard word for if then statements. If you do this, I will do this. So this is your standard harf for making what? Making conditional statement. فهمتم? So I'm going to go back to the text and then read it from there. And this was just in the side note, just so that since we're talking about conditional statement, you are aware of the other ones. Now, okay, so I'm going to be reading the Mumti', but I'll just mention what Tuhfa Saniyya, what Muhammad Muhyiddin he is doing here, why it's a little bit more discussion. First thing, before I start, first thing, let me tell you, looks like there are a lot of them, right? We have in, ma, man, mahma, idma, I, mata. There's a lot of them. So you might feel like, oh my goodness, it's way too overwhelming. A lot of stuff's going on. Honestly, it's not like that, because if you understand one, the other ones is very simple. They just do the same way. It's just the meaning is different. For example, in English, when we say, if you do something, I will do something. So this is, you're using if. But same thing you can use for the time. You can say, whenever you come, I will do something. You can see we are using the same conditional statements, but we're just using different word. Instead of saying if, we're saying when. Then we can also say, wherever you go, I will be there. So wherever, it is also a conditional statement. The structure is the same. Only thing we're doing is we're changing from if to who to when to where to how. So these are all conditional statements. So these parts don't get overwhelmed by all these other words. It's just the same way we would use in English language. Sometimes we have to use if, sometimes we have to use when, sometimes we have to use where. فهمتم? Now, going back to the Tuhfa, so in the Tuhfa, what he's saying is basically he's mentioning something with regards to different opinion about the ulama of the Nahu with regards to these other tools. Are they isim or they're harf? Okay, this is where the discussion is happening. Remember, last time we said by ijma, all of them are isim for the first part. Lam, lamma, la nahiya, lamul amr, they're all harf. But here we have a little bit dispute. But the dispute usually happens with idma. It will happen with idma, and it will also happen with, as far as I know, mahma. These two are the difference. So other than that, in is harf by ijma. In, this is the main particle of this conditional statement, the one that makes two mudar into majzum. And this is harf by ijma. There's no dispute. So the in is harf. And other than the one that I circled, they're all noun. The ma, man, ay, mata, aina, ayana, anna, haythuma, these are all nouns by ijma. There's no dispute. The dispute happens with idma and mahma. Okay? Forget about dispute. Only thing you have to know is idma is also harf. That's what Muhammad Muhyiddin wants to say, that in the correct opinion is idma is harf. Only thing you need to know, there are two huruf, okay, harfan. So you have in and idma. And mahma is considered also as isim. That's the only thing he is trying to say here. He divided all of this thing. I don't want to make into this distinction to go through them, but what he's basically saying is that he will further divide them into four category. For example, here it says arba anwa. And how did he get four? One is, that is, everybody agrees, which is harf, which is in, okay? Harfun bittifaq. The second one, harf ittifaq is this one. Second one is ismun bittifaq, that everybody agrees that this is our ism. And the third one is harf ala al-asah, that it is particle in the most correct opinion. Another one is isim ala al-asah. Okay, that means it is noun isim with the most correct opinion. Okay, so that's the whole discussion he's doing here. So because it's too long, I'm not going to read from here. I'm going to read from al-Mumti'. So Mumta did not make this distinction. I think he will just go through one by one. That's why I just mentioned that part from the Tuhfa, so you're not missing any benefits. So now, so let's read from here. It comes ثانيا ما يجزم فعلين. What makes two verbs into مجزوم. الأول يسمى فعل شرط. Remember, it's going to make two verbs into majzum. So the first one would be called فعل فعل الشرط. The first one is the conditional verb. والثاني يسمى جواب الشرط. The second one is called the answer to the conditional. وجزاءه and its result. فهمتم؟ وهذه الأدوات هي. See, he's using the word أدوات. He's not saying حروف. He's not saying أسماء. To be in safe side, you're saying أدوات, because this will include both isim and asma, because it looks like he really doesn't want to get into this discussion. Now, وهي in ma, and he lists all of them. Okay, so I'm not going to read from here. I'll just read as he gives a more example. So he started with in. فَإِن نحو, whereas for the in example, قوله تعالى, has where Allah says, إِن يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ. إِن يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ. So the first verb is what? It's called فعل شرط. This is the shart of the verb. And the second verb, right after that, we have another verb, which is called answer جواب الشرط. By the way, what is the verb here? What verb is that? It is شاء يشاء. This is the verb that we say when you say inshallah, if Allah wills or wish. So this is the verb he's using. So what happened here? So when in comes, the verb has to be majzum. So is it in the majzum form? Yes, because this is a sukun here. And because you put a sukun here and you have another sukun, you dropped one of them. And that's what happened. So that's why we drop the alif and we have yasha. فهمتم? So this is state of majzum. And then same thing with the second verb. We have yudhib. You have a sukun here. So this is also a majzum form. Allah is saying, if Allah wills, He would do what? Yudhibukum. The context of the verse, as far as I know, because it comes from the verb dhahaba, right? Dhahaba. This is the verb. You have dhahaba, yadhabu. Okay, yadhabu. But this is the form of adhaba. Adhaba yudhibu. So what is adhaba yudhibu means? So adhaba means making this verb. Okay, making this into transitive. So dhahaba means to go. Adhaba means to make someone go. Okay, so this verb becomes now transitive. And that's why the kum is what? Kum is the maf'ul bihi. So meanings, Allah will make you go. So the context of this verse is that if Allah wished, He would make you perish. He will make you go, eliminate you, and bring something else. Okay, so this is the context. So very interesting verse indeed. Now, so you have the first one is in. Honestly, I will not read all of them because as you can see, the format will be the same. Maybe I'll do two or three. And then, inshallah, you can read the rest. Only thing you probably have to know what they mean. Maybe I'll go through the meaning and then, inshallah, you will be fine. Then the next one is we have ma. Ma is for what? Okay. And as you know, ma, and you also have man. Ma is for غير عاقل and man is for عاقل. Ma is what? Man is who? نعم. With regards to ma, we say نحو قوله, as Allah said تعالى وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله. So here your conditional starts with ma, and this is your فعل الشرط تفعلوا. So how is this one into majzum state? Remember, they have to make present tense verb into majzum. This is a majzum form by what? By half and noon. This is min al af'al al khamsa. Taf'aluna. Yes, so we drop the noon, so now it's in majzum state. وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا, whatever you do, min khayr, from good. Whatever good you do, يَعْلَمْ. Here's use the second, the jawab al-shart. This is the answer to the condition. So answer to this verb. This verb is answer to this verb. And it also needs to be in majzum. Is it in majzum? Absolutely, it is majzum. Ya'lam should be ya'lamu. Ya'lamuhu Allah. But it says ya'lamhu Allah. So this is also into majzum state. See, the Quran is following the rules of the language, so you will appreciate when you see the Quran and you know the grammars, you will like it more. So what is saying? The verse here is saying, whatever you do from good, Allah knows. By the way, what is this who with regards to Arab? Hmm? So Allah is fa'il, marfu'. Okay? So Allah knows what? Who who is what? Yes, this is maf'ul bihi. So who goes to in khayb. So this is ضمير مفعول به في محل نصب. نعم في محل نصب. You have to say mahal. You cannot say here, you don't have to say mahal because this word itself is in the marfu state. The word is in marfu state. But if it's something mabni, you cannot say it's marfu. You cannot say it's mansub. It has to be in mahal, in the place of marfu or in the place of mansub. Yes, this is also mabni ala dham. Okay, so when anything is mabni, it's very easy. Just look at the haraka at the end, and then that's what it is mabni on. Now, the next one we have man. Man is who. So in the Quran it says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مَخْرَجًا. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مَخْرَجًا. So we have man. This is your, by the way, is man harf or ism? Ism, ahsant. So man is ism. So we have the conditional tool ism, and the first one is the fi'l shart yattaqi. So now we have a problem. We said the verb has to be in majzum state. Doesn't look like it's majzum state. Looks like it has a kasra. There's no sukun, nothing. What's going on here? You will know if it's in majzum or not. First, you have to go to the verb. What is the verb? Ittaqa. And what is the present tense verb? Because remember, we need present tense verb. Yattaqi. Yattaqi. Ittaqa yattaqi. So this is the verb we're working on. So now we need to make this verb into majzum. So how do we make this verb into majzum? We talked about this. This is فعل معتل في آخر. So this is ناقص. What happens? Yes, when you have ناقص, we have to drop the حرف العلة. So we have to drop this حرف العلة. So حرف العلة is what? حرف العلة is our yeah. So we have to drop this. Once we drop this, what happens? So yeah, what is the appropriate حركة of yeah? Is kasra. So we say يتقي. We say ومن اتق الله. So we're dropping the ya here. So this is how we know it's a majzum. So we have fear of Allah. Then what is the answer? Now comes the answer. Answer is يجعل. So you have a sukun here. You have a sukun. يجعل له مخرجا. يجعل له مخرجا. Now because this is your tajweed rule, when you have two of the same letter, and the side by side, you know these rules, then it will just simply connect to the next one. This is also majzum. What is makhraj? Makhraj, one of the makhraj you know. One of the makhraj is we know from the tajweed, which is like where the words come from. Okay, the location of the where the sound coming from. But what is the standard meaning for makhraj? You'll see this word in many places in the Arab countries. You might see them in the airport, you might see in the hotel, in the mall. Makhraj means exit. From kharaja, makhraj is a place of exit. Okay? So what is Allah saying? Allah saying is that whoever has the fear of Allah, Allah will make for him a way out of whatever problem he has. Subhanallah. Very amazing verse, isn't it? Okay? Now, so you got the standard how the conditional statement works, right? Okay, so all of them will work the pretty much same way. Let me see if I can go through at least the meaning so you know. So we have in is if, okay. Then you have ma is what, man is who, okay. Mahma. What is mahma? Mahma is one of them that is a dispute, but the correct opinion is that it is ism. Mahma means whatsoever. Whatever you do, mahma kan, whatever it was, something will happen. Let me just read this one. He says, mahma yuhawil al-mubtiluna tams al-haqiqati tadhhar. Whatever this wrongdoer trying to cover the truth. Okay, so whatever ways they're trying to cover the truth, tamsun is to cover, to destroy, to eliminate something. Okay, so you're eliminating any evidence or something like that. Okay, so haqiqa is the reality or the truth. Whatever they try to hide the truth or to cover them up, yadhar, it will appear. Okay, it will appear. And then subhanallah, you can see what's going on, in the world. They're trying to hide all these things. More they try, more their abusive, their injustice are just becoming more apparent. Okay, so that's what it means. Fahimtum? And then we have idma. Idma is another one that is disputed, but the more correct is that it is uh, harf. So idma can be two meanings. It can be whenever or whatever. So for example, we say idma takum akum. Whenever you stand, I would stand. I would say when is better meaning. Fahimtum? So we have idma takum akum. Which, mata means when, you know what mata means. And then you have ayana. Ayana is also has to do with when. So ayana tuti'illaha yu'inka. How is this majum? Same thing. It has harf al-illa, which is trapped. Whenever you obey Allah, what will happen? Yu'inka. Here the second verb also majzum. Allah will help you. A'ana yu'inu. Then aina is where you know that. I'm not going to go through all the examples. Anna is also where. So in the Quran, Anna laki hada, when Prophet Zakaria asked Maryam alayhi salam about the food that she's been getting. Haythuma is wherever. Haythuma is wherever. Then you have kaifama. Kaifa means however. It's from the kaifa. So these meanings, you just have to know a few of the meanings. Most of the meanings, I'm pretty sure you know them, like ma, man, aina, mata, kaifa. Kaifa is very simple to kaifa. You will know that kaifama means how. This would be easy. The one that you probably have to, focus on is the other ones like mahma, idma, and especially ayana and anna. Okay, Anna is goes with Aina and Ayana goes with Mata. Find a way to memorize them. Inshallah, it's not super complicated, but they all use the same form as you would use with in. Now he mentioned something here. He mentioned that about either. Remember what we said about either. Either is most of the time, غالبا, it will be with the past tense verbs. But he said, according to, you will find this is the issue you will see a lot of times. They call dururat shar, because sometimes when the poets they make poetry, sometimes it is necessity for them to use certain things and break some rules. Okay, so they're saying in some cases you can make the either can work just like that and make it come into present tense verb and then make it into majzum. But by and large, whatever I mentioned to you, just know that for now you will be fine. Now, one thing that none of these sharh mention, which is very important, is a concept of connecting fa with the answer of the condition. Okay, now this is a big topic. Not so big, but it needs a discussion. I don't think we have a time today. So this would be sometimes we have to use fa. As you can see right now, all of them, it comes directly. For example, you say, in yasha yudhibukum. You have a verb and you have a verb. There's nothing. But sometimes you need to connect fa. And when do you connect fa? This is a technique you have to know. It's a very important one. I'm just confused why they did not mention it. In fact, even Tuhfa Saniyya, I don't think he mentioned it. So what I'll do is that, inshallah, with regards to whatever Ajrumiyyah is mentioning, we're done. Okay, there's nothing more to it. So alhamdulillah, what's going on here is that, remember, this verb, the Babul Af'al was pretty simple one. He just mentioned about all the different types of verbs, and we went a little bit different. We also introduced a few other types of taqsim. And then he went to i'rab of the mudari, and we talked about nawasib when it became mansub, and then last time we started talking about jawazim when how it become majzum, and today we finished the whole topic. So honestly, with regards to verbs, we don't have anything else.